Chapter 2994. Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaoyu, and Creation Spirit all felt extremely nervous at this moment. The demon ancestor was clearly going all out. He knew that he was going to lose and was no match for the three of them. He no longer wanted to fight with his life on the line. Instead, he decided to use self-destruction to destroy the entire world. According to normal theory, if the world was destroyed, it might really cause a chain reaction, causing everything to turn into chaos and eventually return to nothingness. The purpose of the demon ancestor's self-destruction was probably not as simple as destruction. Perhaps he wanted to experience the true power of nothingness at the final moment and gain the opportunity to comprehend it. Since there was no chance to carry out his plan step by step, then he might as well gamble one last time. Perhaps he could still see some hope. If he succeeded, he would definitely be able to break through the boundary of life and death. Even if he self-destructed, he could still be resurrected. Swoosh, 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 Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaoyu, and Creation Spirit did not dare to delay. They followed closely behind the demon ancestor's wandering footsteps. Terrifying attacks continuously shot out from the three of them. All kinds of great chaos and chaotic forces shot out, intertwining and dazzling. It was boundlessly terrifying. Every time the three of them attacked, they burst out with the highest power in the world. It was vast, boundless, and unfathomable. However, the demon ancestor ignored all of these powers. The power brewing in his avatar was incomparably powerful. It strangled everything into nothingness, causing Du Xiaofu and the others' attacks to be unable to stop Luoho. However, the strange thing was that the process of Luoho's crazy power gathering seemed to be very long. He was not in a hurry to explode instantly. Instead, he slowly narrowed his old eyes. Waves of aura spread out from Wan Ming, which was also Luoho's avatar's body, causing the void to tremble. Under Luoho's deliberate control, his figure suddenly took a step forward and disappeared from this space. He entered a world in the 33 heavens called the Abyss Nirvana Toon Heaven. When the demon ancestor's body descended, the entire world instantly shook with a loud bang. Then, one could see that the space was disintegrating inch by inch. The great Daos were collapsing, the order was being annihilated, the universe was being overturned, and the rules were being torn apart. The terrifying chaos swept through every corner of this world in the blink of an eye. It was unstoppable, as if doomsday had arrived instantly. In just this short period of time, it was unknown how many creatures in the Abyss Nirvana Toon Heaven had died. They were annihilated along with the world's collapse. "Stop him!" Du Xiaofu shouted. Although the demon ancestor's speed was, the three of them, they could keep up with him. Loses. Lu Xiaofu, Lu Creation, and Du Lu Creation. Lu Xiaofu, Lu Realm. Lu to Lu to Lu Shatos Nirvana Nenen. Jie. Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaofu Creation Spirit, don't you want to kill this ancestor? Then die with this ancestor. This ancestor will show you what the real nothingness is. The demon ancestor laughed coldly, not caring about the continuous attacks of the three of them. His figure floated, constantly passing through the 33 heavens and the various worlds, releasing a destructive aura all over his body. The Abyss Nirvana Toon Heaven, the 9 yellow suppressing heaven, the full moon sky, the purple wave Hong sky, the great watchtower resurgence heaven, the primal true misty heaven, and the other worlds were passed by him. The result was that these worlds began to disintegrate on a large scale, turning into chaos. Du Xiaofu and the other two tried their best to save the creatures, but they were still unable to take care of everyone. A large number of creatures still died tragically. The demon ancestor had gone mad. He no longer considered the consequences. He only wanted to drag all the worlds to the edge of destruction. Lu Xiaofu, Du Xiaofu, and Creation Spirit could not really stop the demon ancestor's footsteps. Under the situation where the demon ancestor's power was madly brewing, it was no longer something that they could stop. The four figures, one in front and three behind, constantly passed through the various worlds. Wherever the demon ancestor passed, it was as if doomsday had suddenly arrived, erupting a terrible scene of destruction. the entire 33 heavens began to have a terrible turbulence. After the 33 worlds collapsed, they turned into a strong chaotic aura, boiling and tumbling. Countless small worlds, under the influence of such power, were like small boats in a storm, constantly swaying. Although the demon ancestors' power did not directly affect these small worlds, one could imagine that, with the passage of time, it would not be long before all of these worlds were annihilated and turned into chaos together with the destruction of the 33 heavens. After a few twists and turns, the 4 of them returned to the vast space of nothingness one after another. The originally endless and desolate stars had long since disappeared. The brand new demon world of the demon ancestor had completely disintegrated. Only fragments and chaos were left in the sky. In the distance, the experts of the 33 heavens and the 3,000 boundless worlds were engaged in a fierce battle with the new demon ancestor. However, because there were 5 half-step Dao realm experts, Xiaolong Di Badian, Donghuang Taishen, Yanggua, and Lu Xintong, there was no suspense in this battle. The demon race was being completely suppressed. Their deaths and injuries were uncountable. Their defeat was already set in stone. It was only a matter of time before the countless demon race members were wiped out. However, all of this could not change the overall situation at all, and it could not end the demon ancestor's rampage. The demon ancestor, who had the formless body, was really too terrifying. His original body was exhausted by Lu Xiaofu and then destroyed by Du Xiaofu, but the remaining avatar was still terrifying. The various great worlds of the 33 heavens collapsed in his hands, transforming into chaos. If it were not for Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaofu, and Spirit Creation's timely intervention, none of them would have survived. After the 4 of them returned to the space of nothingness, they continued to chase and fight. Lu Xiaofu and Spirit Creation's attacks were not useless against the demon ancestor, but they could not stop his momentum from brewing. At a certain moment, Rahu's aura suddenly rose to a peak, as if it had reached the peak. It did not continue to rise, but continued to brew, and became more and more vigorous. His face began to swell red, and his old body began to swell as well. He was as round as a ball that had been filled with air. Kikik. Rahu's final laughter came out of his mouth, and he roared crazily, Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaofu, Spirit Creation, come and pursue the ultimate nothingness with this ancestor. This ancestor guarantees that if I succeed, I'll reconstruct your lives at the first possible moment. I'll let you see just how ridiculously wrong you were. The demon ancestor laughed loudly, and his owl-like voice penetrated all the worlds, covering the sound of the great Tao, making people panic. His power did not continue to rise. Suddenly, it froze, and then the entire world seemed to have stopped. Oh no! Lu Xiaofu, Spirit Creation, and Du Xiaofu all knew that Rahu would not be able to control his power at this time, and he would really self-destruct. In the next moment, a terrifying and boundless power would sweep out and devour everything, and then turn into a terrifying chaotic vortex, erupting with an unparalleled devouring power, causing all the worlds to be quickly swallowed by this vortex. In the end, it was possible that all the worlds would be pulled in and then turned into nothingness. Is there no other way? Du Xiaofu's eyes flashed as he murmured. At this last moment, his heart calmed down. His gaze fell on the demon ancestor. Du Xiaofu's heart was calm, and he was still thinking of a way to deal with Rahu. Suddenly, at a certain moment, the purple-robed youth's gaze swept over a certain place, but then, that light blue spherical object instantly pulled his gaze back. Seeing such an object, Du Xiaofu was stunned at first, and then seemed to think of something, and his figure suddenly shot out. Junior brother. Seeing his action, Lu Xiaofu called out softly. However, right at this moment, Rahu's clone's body stopped expanding, and then it suddenly exploded. A terrifying power instantly spread out and swept across the area. Lu Xiaofu and Spirit Creation even narrowed their eyes slightly. They knew that the 2 of them were so close that it was impossible for them to escape with their lives. In addition, the powerhouses who were fighting in the 33 heavens and the 3,000 greater worlds in the distance would soon die one by one. This was the self-destruction of a powerhouse in the enchanting realm, and there was no need to doubt its power. Not to mention the creatures in the world, even the greater worlds would be crushed into chaos under this power. In the end, we still can't stop him? Lu Xiaofu sighed softly in his heart, and spirit creation's expression dimmed. After Rahu's body exploded, the blood-red light burst out like a vast blood sun, stinging the eyes of the two, causing them to close their eyes involuntarily. The two of them only felt that everything should be over now. Even after many years of hard work, they still could not defeat the demon ancestor. Countless worlds would continue to exist, and the creatures could not survive. Everything would cease to exist. This, perhaps, was really like the saying in the legends, everything came from nothingness and went to nothingness. This was the law, and no one could stop it. No one knew when it would happen. A huge vortex began to form at the place where the demon ancestors self-destructed. Lu Xiaofu and spirit creation could both sense it. The void was trembling and collapsing, and the world in the distance was collapsing. Everything made a terrible roar, and it was coming toward Rahu, wanting to be swallowed up. Lu Xiaofu and spirit creation could not help but sigh. The world was so wonderful. The so-called nothingness was probably not just a legend. Who could say for sure whether the consequences brought by the demon ancestor were the result of all natural evolution? For Lu Xiaofu and spirit creation, they were not afraid of death, but they were afraid of dying in vain. At their level of cultivation, what they pursued was not just life. What they wanted to know was the greatest secret in the world. It's a pity that there's no chance to decipher everything. Lu Xiaofu sighed softly and said with emotion. He stood still with spirit creation, waiting for the power of the demon ancestor to come down, annihilate their bodies, crush their primordial spirits, and then destroy them. However, in the next moment, they seemed to feel that something was wrong. The terrible power that they imagined did not come down immediately. Instead, all the terrifying movements began to become smaller and smaller. Under the piercing of the terrible blood-red light, the two opened their eyes at the same time and squinted to look ahead. As soon as they opened their eyes, they saw a scene that shocked them. They saw a young man in a purple robe standing in front of them, pushing a small blue world in his hand, which was pressing down on the demon ancestor. This young man in a purple robe was Du Xiaofu without a doubt. The blue world in his hand was no stranger to spirit creation and Lu Xiaofu. It was the small world called Earth. Earth, Lu Xiaofu murmured. He looked at the scene in front of him and was extremely shocked. At the beginning, when Du Xiaofu went toward Earth, he had probably guessed what the other party wanted to do. There were too many mysteries in this world, and there were huge secrets. Even Lu Xiaofu and spirit creation could not see clearly, because they knew that Earth was related to the great god Pangu. On a certain level, it was not easy for them to destroy Earth, let alone use it to resist the power of Rahu's self-destruction. However, Lu Xiaofu and spirit creation were not fools. Since all the worlds could not be saved by Rahu's self-destruction, how could Earth be saved? If Du Xiaofu was willing to use it as a shield, so be it. But they did not expect that when they opened their eyes, they would really see Earth blocking the power of the demon ancestors' self-destruction. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Waves of terrible vibrations came from the place of Rahu's self-destruction, constantly swallowing everything, as if to pull the 33 heavens, the 3,000 boundless worlds, and the divine battle world into that black hole. However, when Earth was dragged in by Du Xiaofu, it was directly blocked in the eye of the vortex where Rahu's self-destruction was. In the previous terrible battle, Earth was like a withered leaf, wantonly destroyed. It was only waiting for the last layer of the energy shield to protect it from destruction. Who would have thought that at this time, when it was used to block Rahu's self-destruction vortex, it suddenly burst out with an unparalleled light, and a vast power rose and swirled. Although under the power of the demon ancestor, it looked like it would shatter at any time, the power it had displayed was terrifying enough. Do it, kill Rahu completely. Du Xiaofu burst out a loud cry from his throat. He controlled Earth to press down on the demon ancestor, enduring the terrible impact. In a short time, he had spat out a lot of blood. The power of the self-destruction was blocked and absorbed by Earth, but a part of it was still transmitted to him. Kill! Lu Xiaofu and Spirit Creation shouted, and before Du Xiaofu shouted, they had already attacked at the same time. After being stunned at the beginning, they quickly saw the situation in front of them and knew what to do. At this time, it was not the time to investigate how Du Xiaofu knew the reason for Earth's uniqueness, nor was it the time to discuss why such a small world suddenly began to erupt with terrifying power. What they wanted to do was to take advantage of the time when Rahu was suppressed to completely end his life and break the vortex that burst out with monstrous devouring power. Chi chi chi. In Lu Xiaofu's hand, bloody slash slashed out again and again, and all of them hit on the terrifying vortex. In the hole, Rahu's cold voice could still be heard. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. Spirit Creation also struck out again and again, attacking with all his strength together with Lu Xiaofu. The strength of the two illusionary realm experts burst out, and it was extremely terrifying. No. How could this be? Vaguely, one could hear Rahu's fluctuations, which were filled with endless panic and loss. Obviously, his remaining consciousness also sensed the current situation and knew that his strength was completely suppressed by Earth's world. Moreover, under the continuous attacks of Lu Xiaofu and Spirit Creation, the power of his vortex not only did not become stronger and stronger, but it gradually weakened. If this continued, there was no doubt that his life would end, and he would no longer be able to destroy all the worlds to witness the power of nothingness. This is Panga's power. But this is impossible. How can he have such powerful strength? Isn't he already dead, and it's difficult to revive? A series of spiritual fluctuations came out of the vortex and passed to the senses of Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaofu, and Spirit Creation. Luo Ho was shocked to the extreme. No one knew Pan Gu better than he did. The two of them had been sworn enemies since ancient times. What really shocked Rahu was that even if he was self-destructing, his power could still be suppressed by Panga's earth. This was unbelievable. How can Panga be so strong? This is absolutely impossible. Rao had begun to speak incoherently, and he had no idea why it was so difficult. Panga's strength was similar to his, and neither was weaker than the other. But now, the horror shown by this earth had exceeded the demon ancestors' understanding. Rahu, the realm you tried so hard to reach, I didn't expect Panga to have done it. Du Xiaofu's body was greatly damaged, but he still gritted his teeth and sneered at the demon ancestor. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Panga can't do this. Even if he becomes stronger, it's definitely not the ultimate power of nothingness. Rahu was still releasing such spiritual fluctuations, and he seemed to be in disbelief. He couldn't accept the facts presented in front of him. But Du Xiaofu couldn't let go of such an opportunity to attack him. Demon ancestor, don't you even have the courage to admit defeat? Even I, Du Xiaofu, a postnatal creature, can see that Panga's power has far surpassed yours. Perhaps he has grasped the true nothingness, which is why he can suppress you. Chapter 2995. Du Xiaofu looked at Rahu coldly and said aloud. The world of earth was in his hands, and he used all his strength to suppress the power vortex created by the self-explosion of the demon ancestor. Under the impact of the terrifying power of the demon ancestor, the entire small world was also shaking unimaginably. However, the world of earth was indeed extraordinary. It actually resolved the power of the demon ancestor's self-explosion. Impossible, it's impossible for Panga to do it. Even I couldn't do it, how could Panga do it? Nothing. That's nothing. If it wasn't at the moment when the world was destroyed into nothingness, how could it be comprehended? Hearing what Du Xiaofu said, Rahu kept shouting. Although his body no longer existed at this time and his expression could not be seen, one could still hear the disappointment and disbelief in his words. Just as Du Xiaofu had said, if Pan Gu had truly grasped nothingness, then Pan Gu would definitely be above Rahu. In this way, what ability did he have to compete with Pangu? It was just that Rahu did not dare to believe it. Even at this juncture, he was still unwilling to admit that Pangu was actually ahead of him. This was simply unacceptable. And it was at this moment that Du Xiaofu's voice resounded again, as though he was narrating some profound truth of the world. In other words, The power of Pangu is not nothing, but one thing is certain, this power is definitely beyond the realm of nothingness. Demon Ancestor Ra, have you ever thought that maybe the nothing that you think is the ultimate is not the ultimate at all? At the end, Du Xiaofu raised his eyebrows unconsciously. As soon as these words came out, it was obvious that the demon ancestor's destructive energy suddenly paused, as if he was shocked. It was as if he had heard something incredible, which had a huge impact on him. For a time, Rahu, who had been emitting unwilling spiritual fluctuations, fell silent and did not speak for a long time. Not only him, but even Creation Spirit and Lu Xiaoyu, who were attacking Luo Ho, were stunned for a moment. Du Xiaofu's words seemed to have opened a brand new door for them, making them suddenly realize that something was wrong. Especially for the demon ancestor and Creation Spirit, it was as if the things they had been pursuing for countless years had been wrong from the very beginning. Du Xiaofu's words were like a terrifying sound from the heavens, causing Luo Ho to be silent and the spirit creation to palpitate. Yes, the so-called nothing was only the result of the deduction of the 3,000 ancient gods and demons when they were in chaos. In the end, this sort of deduction became the final conclusion that everyone agreed with. Under such circumstances, the chaos in the chaos, and all creatures of the chaos was the chaos and chaos, came to the chaos, and chaos. Perhaps at some point in time, something would be born from the nothing, and a brand new chaos world would appear again. But at that time, it would no longer be their era. Among the 3,000 ancient gods and demons of the chaos, no one seemed to have questioned the nothing. They had never imagined that there might still be another profound realm that could be developed above the imageless realm. In other words, the nothing in the legend was not the beginning and the end of everything. It was just a definition given by the creatures. If this was the case, then the 3,000 ancient gods and demons born in the ancient chaos were all wrong, including Pangu. Of course, Pangu might have jumped out of such a cage at this time and found the right path. This could be easily seen from the fact that the Earth world was firmly suppressing the demon ancestor. Kill! Du Xiaofu couldn't help but shout when he didn't feel Rahu's consciousness fluctuation for a long time. At the same time that he controlled the Earth to suppress Rahu, his body flew downwards and charged towards the energy vortex. The purple-gold heavenly palace in his hand cut the great Tao and cut the mortal world. It was terrifying. As soon as he moved, Lu Xiaoyu and Creation Spirit naturally came to their senses and attacked at the same time. Under the full strength of these three people, a terrifying light burst out crazily. The terrifying energy formed an endless turbulent torrent and rushed into the vortex caused by Rahu's self-destruction. Boom, 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 boom. In the violent and boundless vibration, the vortex was severely consumed, and the power of Rahu's self-destruction became weaker and weaker. And under the suppression of the Earth world, it couldn't really explode. The entire area seemed to be boiling. Everything turned into chaos and jumped crazily, like boiling water rising. Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaoyu, and Creation Spirit did their best to destroy the terrible vortex with the help of the Earth world's suppression. No, after such a terrible roar, the demon ancestor let out an unwilling roar, but then he was directly swallowed by the energy sea. His last wisp of vitality was annihilated, his consciousness disappeared, and he was erased from this world. Since the ancient chaos, the demon ancestor had begun to plan to control everything and then destroy everything in order to pursue the ultimate nothingness. All of this set off endless bloody and terrifying battles. But who would have thought that when he was finally defeated, Du Xiaofu, a postnatal creature, would use extremely sharp words to ruthlessly stab a knife into his heart. Even though the demon ancestor died, he was filled with a strong sense of unwillingness. Huff, huff. Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaoyu, and Creation Spirit finally breathed a sigh of relief. The demon ancestor was finally killed, and everything was over. The terrifying demon clan was also crushed, and the greatest threat to the world's living beings had been suppressed. The 3,000 boundless worlds and the divine battle world were completely preserved, without any damage. It was a pity that the vast 33 heavens, under the deliberate destruction of the demon ancestor, had been destroyed, and everywhere was a scene of decay. Fortunately, most of the living beings had escaped with their lives under the help of Lu Xiaoyu and the others. Rumble. The three of them sighed with emotion. Just as they were about to do something to the 33 heavens that had been destroyed, they heard a terrifying and boundless rumbling sound. In the next moment, the three of them felt a huge space suddenly expand and spread out quickly, enveloping everything inside. In just an instant, Du Xiaofu felt as if he had entered a warm current. He was extremely happy, and his entire body was wrapped in endless energy, as if every pore on his body was breathing happily. Pieces of multicolored brilliance burst forth, like a bright rainbow crossing the sky from east to west, incomparably magnificent. Du Xiaofu, Lu Xiaoyu, and Creation Spirit were directly in a beautiful world, as if this was a pure land, the most supreme and mysterious place in the world. They could feel that this world was expanding endlessly, and soon, in the distance, Xiaolong Di Badian, Donghuang Taishen, Yanghua, Lu Xintong, Lu Jingyun, Little Xingxing, Du Xiaoyao, Du Yunlong, and the other powerhouses of the various worlds were all in the middle. The expansion of this space did not stop, and it continued to expand. Everywhere it passed, including the broken 33 heavens, were all covered by it. The various worlds and small worlds that were constantly being destroyed, which had caused a chain reaction, soon quieted down after the expansion of this space, and there was no more movement. Great God Pangu is really still alive, and he has comprehended a new level, Lu Xiaoyu murmured, standing side by side with Creation Spirit and Du Xiaofu, and sighed. The three of them, as the strongest among all the living creatures, could feel the most profound things. This space that had suddenly expanded had evolved from the world of Earth. It swept through everything at the speed of lightning and enveloped everything within it. The 33 heavens had been destroyed, and countless small worlds had been affected by the disaster. They collapsed one after another, and the living creatures in them died miserably. However, when the space enveloped them, everything stopped. All the living creatures had obtained a new space, and those broken worlds seemed to have melted and integrated into the huge new space. Such a scene was simply too spectacular. Compared to the real creation of the world, it was even more shocking. The earth is so terrible, and it was transformed from Pangu's body. He has comprehended something new, and he has surpassed Wu Xiang. Creation Spirit narrowed his eyes slightly, carefully feeling the general situation of this space, and exclaimed in amazement. Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu weren't idle either. They were both immersed in the unique charm of this space, carefully feeling it. They both found an amazing fact, that this space was very stable, and it was much more tenacious than the original 33 heavens, the 3,000 universal worlds, the Shenwu world, and the demon world. It was very difficult to destroy. Moreover, there was a special law passing through this space, which seemed to be derived from the power of the 4 primitive laws, but it was also more powerful than the 4 primitive laws. This feeling was very strange, and it gave the three of them the most intuitive feeling that this space was a plane of a higher level than the normal world, just like the difference between the big worlds and the small worlds in the 33 heavens. Junior brother, how did you know about this final secret? Lu Xiaoyu suddenly looked at Du Xiaofu and asked. His eyes were filled with complicated emotions because of the space that had evolved from the Earth's world. Although he was asking Du Xiaofu, he also knew that his junior brother was just guessing, thinking of something that others did not dare to think of, and subverting the inherent understanding of the past. The appearance of this world and everything here were different. Even Lu Xiaoyu, Creation Spirit, and Du Xiaofu had not felt it before. What puzzled them the most was that the words that Du Xiaofu had said to the demon ancestor before were confirmed in this scene. Was the ultimate power of this world really nothing? Was there no other power? It was clear that Pangu had taken that crucial step and obtained a brand new, powerful strength. This power might be related to nothing, but it might also be unrelated. Only when Pangu really woke up would they know, or when the three of them could take that step, they would naturally understand. Senior brother, senior Creation Spirit, I seem to have understood something. Du Xiaofu suddenly frowned. This was not a sign of understanding, but a sign of thinking. After saying this to the two people beside him, he sat down cross-legged in the void, closed his eyes, and entered a state of meditation. Such a move surprised Lu Xiaoyu and Creation Spirit. Du Xiaofu, this brat, was indeed extraordinary. He actually had some insights at this time. Perhaps for his current level, he had not been exposed to too many things, and his thinking was not as rigid as theirs, because it was easier for him to accept new things. Of course, Lu Xiaoyu and Creation Spirit's hearts were particularly throbbing. Different cognition from the past impacted their thinking. Watching Du Xiaofu fall into silence, Lu Xiaoyu also slowly found a place to sit down. After gently letting out a breath, he also allowed himself to enter a state of comprehension. Two postnatal creatures. Who would have thought that these two boys would be so outstanding that even the third-class divine demons in the chaos would feel ashamed? Creation Spirit sighed deeply as he watched the two's movements. Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu were both postnatal creatures, and their starting point could be said to be very low. However, they were able to walk all the way to where they were today, leaving countless living beings behind them, leaving them in the dust. It could only be said that these two people were a bit too abnormal. Now, the world of Earth had undergone a terrifying expansion, bringing new rules and order. Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu immediately began to try to understand. The demon ancestor is dead, and the tribulation is over. The expedition is over. After a long while, Creation Spirit stopped thinking about it. Instead, he whispered softly, but his voice was so loud that it spread across all the major worlds. Hearing an expert speak, all the creatures pricked up their ears and listened carefully. At the request of Creation Spirit, countless creatures began to reorganize. Because the 33 heavens had been destroyed and no longer existed, all the survivors were residing in this new world. After the brief order was issued, every place was in an uproar, erupting with unprecedented cheers and shouts. Victory! We've won! The demon ancestor is dead, and we've survived. Haha, the demon ancestor is dead, and the demon race has been completely destroyed. The world is finally at peace. All the powerhouses of the 33 heavens, the 3,000 great thousand worlds, and the Shenwu world erupted with earth-shaking screams. They were inexplicably excited. Some people were overjoyed, but at the same time, hot tears flowed down unconsciously. Tens of thousands of years ago, when everyone knew that the demon race would return to the world, countless creatures began to be covered with a layer of shadow. That was the demon race, the powerful existence that ended the entire ancient era. As the layers of secrets were revealed, everyone was more and more shocked to find that the strength of the demon race had refreshed their understanding of it time and time again. Especially the demon ancestor, who had an indestructible body. Even the combined forces of powerful beings who had opened up two worlds could not truly kill him. All of this seemed to have destined one thing, and that was that the 33 heavens would eventually be destroyed. The 3,000 great thousand worlds and the Shenwu world would also become the demon realm. All creatures would die a tragic death and become food for the demon race. However, such a great terror had come to an abrupt end today. The demon ancestor's original body died at the hands of Du Xiaofu. His powerful doppelganger was also destroyed by the three of them. The powerhouses of the various major worlds had experienced feelings of despair several times, but when such a wonderful outcome truly appeared, they could not suppress the emotions in their hearts at all. Countless people shed tears, because this victory was extremely difficult, and also because many creatures died in battle, unable to revive. The ruler of the 3,000 great thousand worlds, Lu Xiaoyu, and the rock emperor of the Daluo heaven, Du Xiaofu, both of them have contributed greatly. If it weren't for their leadership, how could we have fought against the demon race? How could we have fought against the demon ancestor? In the end, someone made such a statement. After everyone heard this, they silently nodded as they thought of the man in green and the young man in purple. The image of these two was destined to become the most supreme existence in the eyes of all the powerhouses from different worlds. The world gradually calmed down, and all of the living beings settled down step by step, living in this brand new world. It is said that the ruler of the 3,000 great thousand worlds, Lu Xiaoyu, and the rock emperor, Du Xiaofu, are comprehending a new power. It is very likely that they will break through the avatar realm and step into an even more vast world. Amidst the tranquility, a creature mysteriously transmitted such words. After hearing this, many people were shocked. Above the avatar realm? Is this true? Aren't the 9 great realms all the realms that have been passed down since ancient times? Are they going to open up a new realm? Someone spoke like this, carrying deep shock. The ruler of the 3,000 great thousand worlds, Lu Xiaoyu, and the rock emperor of the Daluo heaven, Du Xiaofu, had endless respect and reverence in their hearts. Most of the creatures did not know about great god Pangu's situation. They only knew that the world had changed, and Lu Xiaoyu and Du Xiaofu seemed to be opening up a new world. Once Boss and Du Xiaofu successfully break through the new powerful realm, it is conceivable that all the rules and order of the world will be rewritten. At that time, all the traces of the Great Tao will probably change. At that time, the world should show a completely different scene. I am very much looking forward to it. Xiaolong let out such a sigh, filled with endless yearning. Indeed, if the Great Tao rules and order of the world were rewritten, it would cause unimaginable changes to the entire world. At that time, perhaps the world would show some changes that people looked forward to. Just like Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu, after coming into contact with great god Pangu's new power, they quickly fell into a state of comprehension. Once they succeeded, presumably, their realms would be above the avatar realm. Chapter 2996. In the blink of an eye, another 10,000 plus years had passed by hastily like a white steed flashing through a crack in the sky. The original world of Earth was now completely different. It had changed from a tiny place to a vast and endless space. The 33 heavens, which had been destroyed by the demon ancestor, had completely merged with the expanded Earth. It was the same for the countless small worlds. Countless living beings were able to live peacefully in such a space. This was a brand new world. Compared to the 33 heavens, the 3,000 boundless worlds, and the divine battle world, it had a completely different and unique aura. The power of laws here is more abundant, and the world is more stable. I never thought that a world could grow to such a level. After staying here for so many years, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to the realm of enlightenment. It's not impossible to reach that level. Xiaolong said softly. He wasn't the only one who felt this way. Di Batyan, Donghuang Taishen, Yonghua, and Lu Xintong all felt the same way. This brand new world, which had evolved from Earth, was more complete in terms of the Great Tao. It was also more beneficial to their understanding. The few half-step enlightenment powerhouses felt that they were not far from breaking through. Needless to say, all of this was caused by Pangu. They learned from Lu Xiaoyu, creation spirit, and the others that the original Earth was the place where Pangu's body had manifested. It was also because of this that the living beings here were the most unique. When the world of Earth was completely expanded, the original mortals began to come into contact with the path of cultivation and erupted with unimaginably powerful talents. After the initial spiritual shock, the living beings of Earth were able to gain a firm foothold in the world of cultivation. Of course, the most important reason was that the big shots of the various large worlds were willing to take care of them out of respect for Pangu. However, the talent and comprehension they displayed was absolutely terrifying. However, this was not the most important thing. What was interesting was that the natives of Earth had begun to use so-called technological methods to study the mysteries of cultivation. For example, they no longer needed complicated equipment and materials. Through a series of long and meticulous processes, they could create some legendary weapons of mass destruction with the ability of cultivators. For example, the humans on Earth used ultra-high voltage electricity to stimulate the human body, thereby achieving the effect of tempering the physical body and primordial spirit of cultivators. This was comparable to how Du Xiaofu and the others used the purple lightning in the purple lightning profound cauldron to temper themselves. The only difference was that there were only a few purple thunder profound cauldrons in total. They were not easy to come by, and not everyone could enjoy them. However, for the humans on Earth, with their profound cultivation and scientific methods, ultra-high voltage electricity was a piece of cake. What an interesting bunch. If they continue like this, I'm afraid that not only will the world's laws change, but even their cultivation methods and processes will be vastly different. A powerhouse said in shock after learning about this. It could only be said that the methods of the humans on Earth were simply too strange. Under their continuous research, it was likely that in the near future, they would really be able to overturn many traditional cultivation methods. According to what I know, they seem to be researching something called something wave that can improve the talent of cultivators. If they can succeed, it will be really terrifying. Some people were more well-informed and had heard such news. The humans on Earth seemed to have opened up a new world of treasures and began all kinds of crazy exploration and research. Under the instructions of some powerhouses, many people from the 33 heavens, the 3,000 boundless worlds, and Shenwu world were not allowed to disturb them. This meant that they wanted to give the creatures on Earth enough time to grow up. After all, one day, they would also have to face the unified laws of the entire world and integrate into some challenges. Xiao Yu and Xiao Fu, those two guys, actually went into seclusion for such a long time after the final battle. I wonder what they comprehended. In these 10,000 years, Yu Yuqian would often frown and grumble in dissatisfaction. After Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu killed the demon ancestor, the world on Earth was rapidly expanding and creating a new rhythm. This caused the two of them to gain great enlightenment, so they directly entered a state of enlightenment and went into seclusion. And this time, they went into seclusion for 10,000 years. Back then, the powerhouses of the various large worlds were excited because they had defeated the demon ancestor and annihilated the demon race. They wanted to celebrate, but the two fellows who had contributed the most were always in seclusion. Therefore, such a matter was left unsettled in the end. This made many powerhouses of the various large worlds feel very helpless. However, everyone also knew that the changes in this new world might be a rare opportunity for the two of them. They could obtain great enlightenment from it, so no one would disturb them. Shenwu world hasn't stopped expanding these past few years. Right now, that place has far surpassed the 33 heavens. Obviously, when the time comes, another vast world will be formed. Someone exclaimed. The changes in Shenwu world were truly shocking. That world was originally an unremarkable small world, but after all these years, its overall size was even greater than the 33 heavens combined. The spiritual energy and resources inside were also incomparably rich. Everyone knew in their hearts that this was all because of Du Xiaofu. The stronger his cultivation, the more prosperous Shenwu world would become. Ever since he broke through to the Dao-bearer realm, Shenwu world had undergone a metamorphosis. Now that he had gone into seclusion for 10,000 years, as his cultivation improved, everything was still developing. This was a wonderful trend that benefited all living beings in Shenwu world. Other than Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu, creation spirit disappeared from the vision of all living beings. No one knew where he went or what he wanted to do. Perhaps, only when Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu came out of seclusion would they be able to find his whereabouts. Rumble. Suddenly, one day, Shenwu world once again let out a terrifying rumble, causing the entire world to violently shake. This situation caused many living beings to be shocked for a moment, but they quickly calmed down. They had already experienced similar things countless times, but this time, it was much more violent than before. Of course, their overall strength had also increased by countless times compared to before. Because they were able to deal with it more calmly, they were no longer shocked. The Rock Emperor is about to break through again. This time, he's about to reach the enchanting realm. A powerhouse said in shock and came to this conclusion. The only person who could cause such a change in Shenwu world was the Rock Emperor, Du Xiaofu. Him breaking through to the enchanting realm was within everyone's expectations. But for him to reach this step after only 10,000 years of seclusion, it still shocked many people for a long time. After Shenwu world's change, it continued like this, but not long after, Du Xiaofu himself finally returned to the vision of all living beings. Everyone was absolutely overjoyed about this. Greetings, Rock Emperor. Many people saw the purple-robed figure appear in the void of space and respectfully bowed down. They knew that this young man was already standing at the peak of this world. Other than the master of the 3,000 worlds, Lu Xiaoyu, and the creator of the 3,000 worlds, no one else could compare to him. Du Xiaofu's appearance attracted countless powerhouses, causing people from all over the world to make a move. He hadn't appeared in 10,000 years, but now that he appeared, many people wanted to see him. But Du Xiaofu didn't care about these people at all. He only gave a simple greeting to the people he was familiar with, then continued to focus on another place. Senior brother, this is... In Du Xiaofu's perception, Lu Xiaoyu was undergoing a huge transformation. There was a ferocious energy accumulating in his body, as if it was about to explode. Not long after, a terrifying light rushed out of his body and brazenly shot out of this new world. This light came from the chaos, but when it entered the outside world, it turned into yin and yang qi and continued to evolve. Soon, a brand new world was born. The master of the 3,000 worlds has opened up a new world. He did it. In addition to Pangu, Heavenly Lord Daluo, Demon Ancestor Rahu, and Creation Spirit, Lu Xiaoyu has finally opened up his own world. Most importantly, he's a postnatal life form. There's still a gap between him and the chaos life forms like Pangu. It's not easy. The master of the 3,000 worlds, Lu Xiaoyu, is really abnormal. When many living beings learned of this situation, they all exclaimed in admiration. What kind of strength was needed to open up a brand new world? Only a few people in this world had ever done it, and those people before were all chaos life forms, so they had a natural advantage. I wonder when the Rock Emperor Du Xiaofu will open up his own world. Some people were shocked by Lu Xiaoyu's strength and thought of this. News of the Rock Emperor's breakthrough to the imageless realm spread like wildfire. Everyone agreed that the purple-robed youth would soon open up his own world. This world is very interesting. Looking at the brand new world that Lu Xiaoyu had opened up, Du Xiaofu sighed in amazement after a brief investigation. With the help of Pangu's expansion of Earth, I gained a lot of enlightenment and integrated it into my own world. That's why the great Tao laws of this world have a brand new power. When everything calmed down, Lu Xiaoyu appeared in front of Du Xiaofu and said with a smile, "We can still comprehend more of Pangu's power. But senior brother, you've opened up a world like this, which is already very impressive. As long as it grows up smoothly, I'm afraid this world's potential will be much greater than the few worlds that were opened up in ancient times." Du Xiaofu praised and said aloud, "The great Tao is endless. Maybe we were wrong in the past, and the concept of nothing does exist in this world. But with our cultivation, we're still very far away from that stage. Or rather, the so-called nothing can't threaten us at all." Lu Xiaoyu suddenly sighed softly and said, "Yes, the Earth world that Pangu created is enough to explain the problem." Du Xiaofu nodded in agreement. The first person to deny nothing was Du Xiaofu, although what he said to the demon ancestor was just to provoke him. But the truth was that what he said was extremely reasonable and it wasn't nonsense. The changes in the world of Earth and the new world form that Lu Xiaoyu had created proved that his theory was correct. Nothing might exist, but it wasn't necessarily the ultimate. Or perhaps it was the ultimate, but it was still out of reach for everyone now. Buzz. Just as Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu were discussing, a faint buzzing sound suddenly spread out. The buzzing was very faint, but it was still keenly captured by the two of them. "It seems like someone turned over." Du Xiaofu frowned slightly and looked at Lu Xiaoyu. "It's Pangu. He's about to wake up." Lu Xiaoyu's expression became serious as he said. As soon as this sentence came out, Du Xiaofu's heart skipped a beat. He carefully sensed it and sure enough, it was as Lu Xiaoyu had said. He discovered that in the world of Earth, there seemed to be an infinitely powerful creature awakening. And this life was undoubtedly Pangu. Especially Lu Xiaoyu, after sensing such a movement, his primordial spirit was faintly trembling, as if the blood in his body was about to burn. In addition, the original creatures on Earth seemed to contain a ball of fire in their chests. Pangu is about to wake up, and many secrets will be revealed. Lu Xiaoyu softly whispered, his eyes were filled with anticipation. But this process is still early, we have to wait a bit longer. Du Xiaofu was silent for a moment, then came to this conclusion. He was also very much looking forward to Panga's awakening. Du Xiaofu and Lu Xiaoyu were both extremely longing for the level above avatars. Perhaps when Pangu appears, he would already be at that level. That's right. Let's go back and wait first. Lu Xiaoyu nodded and said as such. Then, Du Xiaofu didn't say anything else. He stretched out a finger and tore space apart. It's finally coming back. Through the crack in space, seeing the scene on the other side of the void, Du Xiaofu's lips began to curl into a smile. He felt unprecedentedly relaxed. It was as if ever since he could remember, he had never felt as free of pressure as he did today. This kind of feeling was really too comfortable. Senior brother, I'll be going first. Du Xiaofu smiled, then stepped out into the Shenwu world. There, Du Tingxian, Du Xiaojing, Du Xiaoyao, Du Yunlong, Yi Wuming, Murong Yorua, Shen Qingchun, Yi Piaoling, Jialo Jueyu Yizijin, Sima Muhan, Dongli Qingqing, O Yangshuang, Qi Yeshi, Zi Xian, Zhu Shui, Du Xiaoqing, Little Tiger, Du Xiaoba, Du Xiaohuang, and many other figures were all waiting for his return. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.